Good morning.
On this first Sunday of 2022, still in the midst of leaving the old year behind.
You're muted, John.
Sorry. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Lynchburg. Here we gather in a spirit of freedom and friendship. Whoever you are, whatever your beliefs, whatever your age, and whomever you love, you are welcome here. As we work together for justice, compassion, and peace, we also acknowledge with humility that our buildings sit on land originally part of the Monacan Nation. My name is Joan Lewis Yoder. If you are with us for the first time, we are glad you chose to be here this morning to participate in the service for this church community we love. We would be happy to tell you more about our community during virtual social time following the service. If you would like to receive our monthly newsletter and Friday email updates, please fill out the virtual visitor card found on our website, uulynchburg.org, under Sunday services held via Zoom. You may also wish to join our Facebook group. Religious education classes resume on Saturday, January 8th, with a new Soul Matters theme, Living with Intention. We will be learning about the importance of nurturing a sense of empathy within ourselves as we grow a life of intention and compassion. The pre-K through 5th grade class meets at 3 p.m. and the 6th through 8th grade class meets at 3:45 p.m. in the Rachel Carson room. Guest at your table news. This morning and each Sunday through January, we will collect our guest at your table boxes and checks during the offering. If you will not be attending our hybrid services and wish to drop off your collection box, please contact Katrina Castanis at fairydancer48@gmail.com to make arrangements to do so. If you plan to contribute by check, please make the checks payable to the First Unitarian Church of Lynchburg with guest at your table in the lower left line of your check. Thank you so much for supporting the UUSC's Guest at Your Table program once again this year. If you are interested in participating in a Building Your Own Theology class, which begins on January 6th, please email Reverend Terry. If you are interested in learning to be a tech person, please contact John Phillips. We can use your help. On January 8th at 10 a.m., there will be a training session in the sanctuary. Please RSVP to John Phillips. I invite us now to enter into the service by taking some slow, calming breaths, releasing all that might keep us from being fully present this morning.
As we enter our time of worship, we light the flame of our chalice, sharing these words. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our power to heal, not to harm,
to help and not to hinder,
to bless and
not to curse, to serve
you, O Spirit of life. And we'll see if I keep resonating. Our opening words this morning are by Rebecca Savage. This chalice shines a light on our shared past, signaling our intention to listen deeply reflect wisely, and move boldly toward our highest ideals. And I'm glad this morning that we're going to sing Gather the Spirit, because it celebrates a new year and honors all the connections within our congregation, both as we gather on Zoom and here in the sanctuary. So gather the Spirit. And let us rise in body or spirit if we are here in the sanctuary.
Good morning. As we begin a new year in 2022, I think it could be helpful for us to take a look back at some of the things that we created together that help us to be a more loving, supportive, and welcoming congregation and church family, because that's really what we are. We're a church family. One thing in particular that we created for our church family is our new mission statement. A mission statement is simply a promise about how we want to behave and how we want to be helpers for one another, to ourselves, for our church family, and how we can be better stewards for our earth, our home. Let us now take a look at that mission statement and it's 6 parts, and break it down a little bit in a way that all of us can more fully understand. The opening line to our mission statement says that we want to be a more loving and inclusive community. Well, when we say we want to be more inclusive, this means that we want to be sure that everyone feels welcome and safe with one another. That means everybody, no matter how old or young, what we look like, what we are into, anything that makes us feel different from one another, we all want to be included and welcomed. The next part of our statement says that we choose to celebrate the worth and dignity of all beings. Now, not only does this fit right into what we began with, we choose to lift each other up rather than pull each other down, but we also are saying that we celebrate each of our uniqueness and our similarities at the same time and should treat each other with respect. But then it takes another even more important turn, as we are actually saying that we honor all living beings, not just human beings. And each being is important and should be treated with love and respect. Our animal friends are part of the web of all of life on this earth and should be treated with compassion, just as our Mother Earth home. Then the next part is to nurture lifelong spiritual and ethical growth. This means that we support each other in the ongoing learning process. Life is all about learning and growing and finding out what makes sense to us as individuals and as a group. So we can say that we hold each other up and care for each other during our learning and our growing. The next part is to encourage compassion for all. This means we care about each other no matter what. We've talked a lot about this during the past year, I think, and we've learned that sometimes it isn't so easy to feel compassion for those who are different or have different ideas about things. Sometimes it's hard to understand others who don't always see things like you do or act in the ways that you think they should, or those whose lives are really different from our own. But we have a pledge to help each other to be more compassionate, even and especially when it's tough. Next, we seek to protect the vitality of our natural world. Well, this is a really simple idea, and yet it is something that we have to commit ourselves to doing each and every day in a lot of different ways. It means in everything that we do and the decisions that we make, we need to keep our Earth home safe. Our decisions affect a bigger picture than just ourselves. We can be good stewards of the Earth, and it's important to keep on doing this, even when others around us might not be. This is something that we talk about in religious education a lot. Each of us has a responsibility to do things that are helpful and not harmful to our environment. And we're saying that as a church family, we all seek to do this together. We also pursue justice, equity, and peace. Well, this means that we're working to be sure that all people are treated fairly in every way possible. This is the only way to create peace, to be fair and just with each other, and to work hard to create that fairness for others who haven't been treated fairly. In our society, there are many people who haven't been treated the same as others because of their skin color, their religion, where they come from, their gender. Those of us who haven't been treated unfairly need to stand up for those who have. This is an important part of what it means to be compassionate and caring humans, and a part of a bigger circle of life. The last part of our mission statement says that we serve the common good. Well, this means that we find ways to be of service to each other. We can ask ourselves how we can be good helpers by looking around and seeing who is in need, and by being good listeners to find out exactly the ways that we can help each other. We're serving the common good by finding ways to lift each other up in our community, our congregation, and our families. The very last part of our mission statement is what sums it all up the best. I just love this statement so much. We live love in the world. This means that by living in the ways that we just talked about, we can be an example to others. It means that by sharing our support and our love and compassion with the world, we can help make the world a better place for all beings, no matter how big or how small. It's up to us to lead the way. It's up to us to lead by example and spread love in every way that we can. It's up to us to live love in the big, wide world, and we can do it. Blessed be.
The ministries of our church are supported by the love, talent, and efforts of our many volunteers and staff, as well as the monetary support of our members and friends. If you have found this church to be of meaning in your life, then I invite you to either put a donation in the collection plate, to use the donate button found at uulynchburg.org for donations for First Unitarian. And this morning, if you have your guest at your table box or check, then please put it in the basket that's going to be passed around. For you on Zoom, you may wish to send your guest at your table checks to the church office or contact Katrina or myself to find a way to connect up to get your box. Anybody here? Thank you. Gifts given in love and hope continue a cycle of love and hope. We have a new year with the potential for new possibilities and adventures for how we want to live our lives and our faith. That, for me, is exciting. Now, on December the 31st, I didn't feel quite as excited as I do now. But for me, part of the growing excitement is learning more about myself as I'm learning more about this community and the people who are part of it and how I can connect with the larger Lynchburg community. In these early days of 2022, we might all be thinking about how this year is going to be different. Or we might be worrying that perhaps this year will be the same as 2021. I suggest that how we engage with our lives in 2022 is in part related to the intentions we choose for ourselves. Intentions grounded in our ethics and values. Today, we gather with gratitude for our community, whether we're here in the sanctuary or we're on Zoom. These are the people who will help us learn and grow. They will help us set our intentions for the year and work with us to make the world a better place. Personally, I'm grateful to share my life with each of you because I trust you to help me change, grow, and become a better person of a better vision of myself. The Reverend Eric Wickstrom speaks to this in a reading entitled, "The Purpose of Community is to Help People Grow." If you are who you were, and the person next to you is who he or she was, if none of us has changed since the day we came in here, we failed. The purpose of this community, of any church, temple, zendo, mosque, is to help its people grow. We do this through encounters with the unknown in ourselves, in one another, in the other, whoever that might be for us, however hard that might be, because these encounters have many gifts to offer. So may you go forth, may we all go forth when we leave this morning, not who we were, but who we could be. So may we all. In this new year, we know there will be times when we're overwhelmed by joy, and also times when life circumstances make this year difficult for us. Here we hold one another through the full range of emotion, from joy to sorrow, through the milestones that mark our lives and the challenges that come to us unbidden. Sharing these important times is one way we care for one another. So if you would like to share in a spirit, it is in a spirit of care and compassion that we take a few moments of silence to remember all that we have shared, our concern for our brothers and sisters in Boulder and other communities that have had devastation and loss of life as well as property, and all the great souls, whether they were famous or whether they were our great soul who we loved, that we can hold them in our hearts. Spirit of life and love, we hold up today the joys and the sufferings that are part of life. May we feel deeply, understanding that the love we offer and receive makes it possible for us to understand the true wonder of joy and compassion. Tears and laughter often go together. And we hold up today our concern for the world, for democracy, for those who are suffering from hunger and homelessness and lack of medical care. May we do the work that is ours to do to bring in the beloved community. This we ask in the name of all that is sacred. Amen. The joy of coming back together after such a long time, though in a new way, is a reminder that over the years there have been several generations of people who have been creators of the spirit of this church. We, all of us, enjoy this community because of those who are here now and those who came before. Russell Ball was one of those people. He loved this church and particularly loved our organ. I understand that he did quite a bit of work and, as someone said, tinkering to keep it working. In honor of Russell and all the women and men who created this community, including people who are here with us today, our music for meditation is Joyful, Joyful. And it actually was played at Russell's memorial service. And I want to thank John and Trudy, who were able to take the clip from his memorial service tape and added the words so we can sing along if we want to. And I know that Ruth and Sarah plan to be with us this morning, but I'm thinking maybe it was not the best thing for particularly Ruth to be here, but we appreciate Sarah sharing this music with us. Last year, 2021, seemed to drag on and fly by. Most of us have been really frustrated at not being able to be together in person. I think we are all both tired of Zoom and grateful for it, except for committee meetings. It's really nice to be sitting at home in the middle of a committee meeting. Yes, I see some nods here. I thought maybe it was just me, but Zoom also makes it possible for some of us to attend who wouldn't otherwise be able to. As frustrating as the last year was, we got a lot accomplished considering we couldn't be together. Except on Zoom. We welcome new members into our community. Kate developed a new website with help from Bob Morse and Kate. We got a new church database. We had a good pledge season, which can't be said for all congregations in this country. Becky held the course until we hired Candace. We started 3 small groups and other adult offerings. Our young people are learning to lead services. We did a lot of work on anti-racism. We welcomed folks from near and far on Zoom, and together we created a really strong and meaningful mission statement. Katrina talked about it a little while ago, part of which is on our bumper stickers. I continue to be impressed that our mission statement came together with a lot of input from many members of the congregation, Common themes and words were winnowed down until we affirmed our mission statement. As we begin a new year, let us recommit ourselves to our mission. You can find it both in your bulletin and in the order of service in the chat. And I invite us to speak these words together. As a loving, vibrant, and inclusive community, we welcome, celebrate the worth and dignity of all beings, nurture lifelong spiritual and ethical growth, encourage compassion for all, protect the vitality of our natural world, act for justice, equity, and peace. We live love in the world. I love that last line. We live love in the world. Perhaps as we explore this month the theme of intention, we might begin with deepening our understanding of what it actually means to live love in the world. I know I try, but I have to admit there are days when my last nerve gets stepped on, and living love in the world might mean that I just need to be alone or have a glass of iced tea and breathe. Those are the times when I need to remember why I'm here and how to honor my relationships with others. The great UU minister, the Reverend Dr. A. Powell Davies, spoke to this when he wrote, "Let me tell you why I come to church. I come to church and would, whether I was a preacher or not, because I fall below my own standards and need to be constantly brought back to them. I'm afraid of becoming selfish and indulgent, and my church, the Church of the Free Spirit, brings me back to what I want to be. I could easily despair. Doubt and dismay could overwhelm me. My church renews my courage and my hope. It's not enough that I should think about the world and its problems at the level of a newspaper report or magazine discussion. It could too soon become too low a level. I must have my conscience sharpened until it goads me to the most thorough and responsible thinking of which I'm capable. I must feel again the love I owe to others. I must not only hear about it, but feel it. In church, I do. I am brought toward my best in every way toward my best. I concur with Davies' admission that there are days that we all have in which we need to be with our community of people who remind us how we can live love in the world. I'm so glad that I have this community of people to remind me of who I am and who I need to be. As I've thought about what this new year might bring us, I vacillate between batten down the hatches, it's 2022, and real excitement about the potential for this coming year, of the opportunity to find safe ways of being together and new adventures and opportunities. Whether this year really turns out to actually be a batten down the hatches year, or some yet to be envisioned adventure, we need to make sure we have the support we need to thrive, not survive, in 2022. Setting our intentions for this year just might help us thrive. Katie Covey, the Soul Matters Director of Religious Education, wrote this for the small group packet on intention. She says, here's what I discovered. Intention is different from setting goals and resolutions in that it pulls us into who we truly are. Goals and resolutions push us out into future possibilities. To set intentions, we must listen to our own inner voice, which tells us who we truly are. Perhaps we put so much attention, not intention, attention on goals and resolutions that we don't listen to what our heart needs. And we need to balance the needs of the heart and the mind. So for a minute, I want to go back and look at the mission statement again. The line we don't often talk about or focus on is the very first line. As a loving, vibrant, inclusive community, we. And then it goes on to articulate what we will do. Yet as we enter this new year, we need to make sure we understand how we want to be a loving, vibrant, and inclusive community. What does it look like for us? How does that feel if we are new, or perhaps we feel that things are changing too much? What can each of us contribute to making First Unitarian Universalists a more loving, vibrant, and inclusive community? As we grow into deeper understanding of how we can fulfill each of these words, then we are better able to live love in the world. To further explore what it means to be more loving, vibrant, and inclusive, later this month, we're going to work on creating a congregational covenant. We talked about it a little bit last year, but we worked on the mission statement. And that covenant will articulate how we want to interact and share our community. While I'm always impressed by how well we get along as a community, I think it's important for us to articulate some guidelines for our relationships just in case conflict should arise. These points of referral will be our guidance for congregational relationships, congregational covenant statement for how we interact in and among our community, just as our mission offers us guidance for how we want to live out that mission in the world. My Sufi teacher, Neil Douglas Klotz, talks about the importance of our inner self reflected in and related to our outer self. He calls it having an inner ecosystem and an outer ecosystem. I like that sense of balance where both sides have the same pressure so you can live and move in the world. Our congregational covenant, as I said, will help guide us as we care for one another in our church community, while our mission statement guides our actions in the world. May we learn together how our inner world and our outer world can live in harmony, supporting and sustaining one another in our work in the larger community. One of the realities is that our worldly life, our outer ecosystem, is still wrapped up in a pandemic. How then do we respond to the world and relate in our community when we still have to, in a critical and real sense, take care of ourselves and others. We affirm that our lives are larger than the pandemic. I think that's one important thing, because I think many of us are like, I can't do this or I can't be this because we're in the middle of a pandemic. I think having a daily practice of gratitude to affirm the whole of our lives will help our intention and our attitude. Rather than give up our lives to the pandemic, we can experience hope. Gratitude reminds us that we, every one of us, has a choice about how to live our lives. Over the holidays, I saw 2 movies that had very different messages. And if I've talked to you about the movie Don't Look Up, I'm sorry, you're just stuck with me talking about it some more. It's supposedly a comedy, but actually Finis and I talked about this. It felt too real to me for me to think it was funny. In the movie, the scientists are trying to convince the government and the public that the earth and all her beings were going to die if a comet headed toward Earth was not broken up. Try as hard as they could, the scientists were ignored. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? At the end of the movie, spoiler alert, there is a Last Supper, literally. The main character looks at his son and says, the thing of it is, we really did have everything, didn't we? I mean, if you think about it, what felt so essential to me in that line is that that really is true for most of us, but we don't realize it every day. We do have everything that matters, if we choose to see the gifts in our lives. We are people of privilege. We are people who experience love. We are people who can make a difference, whether small or large, in the lives of others. We can choose to be grateful for what we have and use what we have to make the world a better place. We can celebrate science and find ways to heal the ills of society and nature. We can do our part. Whatever this year brings, we will live in the midst of beauty and friendship and possibility. We can choose to see the good, along with the disappointment and tragedy, and still choose to live with intention. L.R. Nost wrote, "Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended, not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you." There was also another little movie that I saw over the holidays that sort of relates to that reading by Nost. It was called Encanto. It's about a family in which every person has his or her special magic talent, except for one young woman. She believed she wasn't given a gift of magic. But in the end, she learned she is the magic. She is the gift. The lesson was that every one of us has our own gifts. We all have our inner magic, our inner light that we can offer others in the world. So this year we're called to find and understand the gifts that are ours to use, to offer each other and the world. So let us honor who we are and the precious nature of the people around us. Let us be grateful for all that life gives us. And in that spirit, let us rise in body or spirit to sing hymn 128, For All That Is Our Life. Service draws close. As our service draws to a close, we extinguish the flame of our chalice as we say these words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our final words of blessing come from John Pavlovitz. At the end of the day, the world will either be a more or less kind, compassion, and loving place because of your presence, your move. Blessed be. And let's have a seat and just have a few minutes of shared social time. And what's bubbling up for folks? I think one of the things that a lot of people are concerned about is what's happening with Omicron and, you know, how we're going to respond. So I'm committed to seeing if the reentry committee can talk. Oh, Ray, you had your hand up.
Right.
I'm sorry, I was just talking to Sam, wasn't me.
Or
Sorry.
you can wave if you want to.
Yeah, I just hope that 2022 doesn't turn out to be 2023, if you get my meaning.
Exactly.
I was encouraged a couple of days ago when I saw that the numbers in South Africa are already really going down. So that
Yeah.
encouraged me a good bit. Everyone have a happy new year.
Good enough.
Yeah.
I want to thank Steph for doing the sound in here, and David, and then John and Trudy are still, where are you, John and Trudy? Somewhere where it's snowing. Yeah, for help, and Joan for doing the welcome, and Makana and Bob for being greeters on Zoom, and Pat and Jim for being greeters here. It takes a community to build a community, doesn't it? Oh, that's right. And Rosemary's holding down the fort in Drysdale. Thank you, Rosemary. Yes, Larry.
I just wanted to thank you for the including the tribute to Russell Ball. That was a nice addition to the service. Thank you.
Well, thank you for getting that ball rolling, because I'm still so new that I don't know really important things. Maybe if I were here for 10 years, I'd learn it all, but anyway.
You guys speaking to a microphone, I want to be heard.
Hi, Dick.
Hey, I really enjoyed that organ piece that they played that was from his service. I hope we can have some organ music again sometime, if not live, at least recorded. It adds so much to the service sometimes.
Well, bless Trudy Phillips. She rooted around the organ and found discs and is cataloging everything that's recorded. So there is the possibility for that, and that's beginning to be organized.
Excellent.
Well, folks, you on Zoom can keep chatting with Makana and Bob if you would like to. It's
Shall I
wonderful.
play the postlude?
Oh, yes, I guess so. You know, if y'all were expecting to get a perfect minister who remembered everything, I'm sure by now you know that I'm not. But anyway, we'll just go with the flow. Thank you, David.
Mm-hmm.